it is extremely important to express our dissatisfaction and our right to dissent in meetings that the powerful organize for exclusion. The real work is actually in between, and it's in everyday life, in the places where we are. And that is why I have talked of the need to create living democracy. For me, living democracy is different from the facade of democracy that is so hugely expressed in the G8. It's a facade because who gave 7 and 8 governments the right and the power to make decisions about the world? But there's another reason why this is a facade of democracy. It's a facade of democracy because the economic decisions are in any way not being made by us or by the people we elect to power. They are being made behind closed doors in boardrooms by a handful of corporations. And I increasingly get the feeling that corporations are just another name for 100 mighty rich men. And the G8 meetings are really just an ironing out of the inconveniences they face. For example, they're now facing this inconvenience of climate change. So how can they go ahead and keep making their profits while climate change is brought into a discussion when business is not affected? Now, from China, the way that comes out is to say we won't allow growth to be affected. It's exactly the language President Bush uses. And in Europe, the way they make it happen is through carbon trading. Say, it's all right, let the polluters get more money, and let them get quotas, and let them take over the land of the possessors of the South now. So the polluters of Europe have now got access to our land in the name of clean development mechanisms. Of economic dictatorship and the facade of representative democracy. Over time, especially in countries of the South, when politicians go to get votes, 10, 15 years ago before globalization, they used to go for votes and say, if the community wanted a school, they'd say, sure, we'll get you a school. If a group of women who are having to walk to far for water, they would say, yeah, we'll set up a tap for you. We'll get a piped water supply. If the community wanted a road, that's how it was responded to. If the farmers wanted better prices, elected representatives used to talk prices of agricultural products. Well, you can't talk health, you can't talk education, because these are part of the general agreement on trade and services, not for elections. You can't talk prices that farmers get, because that's part of the agreement on agriculture. So, politicians must still come to us for votes. And how do they go about it? They build on the insecurities of people, and rather than shaping economies that generate security, they allow the economies of insecurities to grow and turn people's insecurities into new politics of hate and fear. This issue of creating a living democracy to me is very multifaceted. First of all, it's living because it is alive. It's not a dead democracy. Secondly, it's a living democracy because it is about all of life. It's not just about going to that once in 4 years or once in 5 years, putting a piece of paper in a ballot box, or in America, punching machines that get manipulated and have no paper trail to verify. I think the core aspect of living democracy that we have to shape everywhere and will be the agenda of the future is that we've been reduced to pathetic consumers, allowing consumerism to shape economies of genocide. And we have to move and reclaim our fundamental humanity. And what is our fundamental humanity? That we are creative makers of things. Our right to produce has to be the first right, not our right to consume. And of course, in our right to produce, we have to shape community, we have to shape productive forces, we will have to do the things it takes to rebuild our economies, rebuild our democracies, rebuild our cultures. G8 won't give it to us, we'll have to do it ourselves.
Ich versuche in Deutsch zu reden, bevor Danke. Ich bitte euer Verständnis. Also, Institutionen. Ich möchte versuchen, die Wichtigkeit der Frage nach Institutionen anzuerkennen